So with gaming headsets, there's rarely a gray area between sounding great or sounding like dog. Most of them are extremely bass heavy and way over the top in design. Well, Cooler Master has made a major exception to all this with the MH752. Immediately when I put these on, I was blown away. The fit is near perfect, and they don't squeeze too tight. But also, they don't feel like they're gonna fall off with a lot of movement. Now, of course, they have a wide adjustment range for those of you with big noggins, and they have swivel ear cups, which is a must for any gaming headset. All of this combined makes for one of the most comfortable gaming headsets I've tried yet. However, the ear cups do have one major flaw. They are an oven. In the colder months, it honestly wasn't really noticeable, but now that summer's creeping up, they will scorch my ears after a few hours. And it's not unbearable, but I do wish they would have included some extra ear pads like that on the MH630s. Just something a little more breathable. With that being said though, they are incredibly soft. Now the design is super clean, which is the first thing that drew my attention to these. They're very minimal and just looks like a normal set of headphones. The padding on the inside is pretty good. It's definitely enough to keep my ears from rubbing. I just wouldn't mind seeing it a little bit thicker. Now the build quality on the other hand does have me a little worried. It's all plastic and definitely feels cheaper than other headsets in this price range like the blackshark V2s or the Cloud 2s, which mostly has me worried for the forks that hold the ear cups on. I don't think it would take much to snap these off. Even the bag that comes with these is super cheap. Now thankfully though, they didn't skimp out on the height adjustment band. It is metal. The most important part is, how do they sound? Well, if you're a major bass head, you are going to be disappointed by the sound out of the box. This is a very neutral headset. Looking at the graph, you can see it's just completely flat until you get to that high treble range. Comparing this to something like the Xbox wireless headset, it is a massive difference, which does make this a great all-around headset, whether it's for gaming, music, or video editing. Now, if you do want something with a little more bass, the MH752s do come with a USB sound card so you can enable digital surround, and you can EQ through the Master Plus app. Now the digital surround can be hit or miss depending on the title you play. If it's something more cinematic, it sounds good. If you're playing something competitive, I do not recommend it at all. And speaking of the sound card, they actually handled the use of it with the Master Plus software very well. First, you don't need the software to actually use the sound card, Razer. But if you do use the software, you get to fine tune how the headset sounds through EQ. And I'll give Cooler Master props here, that Master Plus software is one of the nicer ones I've used. Now, the only thing about the sound card though is that it does suffer from that same cheap build as the headset. If you're familiar with the MH630s, then you know that Cooler Master makes one of the best sounding headset mics on the market. Now the same can be said here, even though I personally feel like the mic on the MH630s is a little bit better. It's the lean, green ninja team on the scene, cool teens doing ninja things. So extreme out the sewer like laser beams, get rocked with the shell shock pizza kings. Now one feature I love to see on any headset in general, but also seems to be very rare, is a removable cable. Quite honestly, it's just nice. Now the catch with all the MH headsets is that they use a special end on the cable so it actually locks them to the headset, but also makes it really hard to find a third-party cable that can fit into that slot. Thankfully though, they use a really good braiding on the cable so it's nice and flexible and feels pretty durable. Now I definitely won't say that this is a perfect headset or even one of the best in its price range at $99. If you want something that has really punchy, deep bass, this won't be the headset for you. But for me, this headset checks every single box I need it to. It delivers a very natural sound for any application I need to use it in. It has a great sounding mic so I can confidently use it with my Xbox. And more subjective, it looks fantastic. They do make a slightly cheaper option, the MH751, but you don't get the USB sound card. Well, links are in the description for the MH752s as well as some other gaming headsets that I highly recommend. Thanks for watching and take care.